The thing is, PRX lost a while ago up against Sonic Rise. So you know what? It might just be a day filled with upsets. And I welcome that with open arms.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this is gonna be interesting, knowing that Talon is looking for more wins to secure their spot all the way into the playoffs. I do believe that they're gonna be playing 2 games again for tomorrow, so definitely it will be a sweaty day for them. They're gonna be playing with Blacklist for tomorrow and Viren Sejong, so definitely a lot of things could happen here, and Talon needs to conserve those strategies and their energies heading towards their games for tomorrow. But right now, Zajan and Inhyu, it's gonna be the first ban.
And now, followed up the Blissey, actually a little bit unexpected. So there is a possibility that Talon is going to have that a little bit of that priority onto that supporter, just because of those bans coming right in. But it could possibly just be those supporters being removed, considering that Talon has consistently just putting out the double all-rounder, double defender, single attacker. That doesn't really matter if they do not have any support options. However, Umbreon might just be stolen away by PaperX and denied away from Talon Esports, and this will be forcing Talon Esports to adjust. It could still be the Trevenant that can still be brought out along with a Slowbro if they still want to bank on that double defender setup.
Well, yeah, and knowing that there are a lot of supporters unavailable right now, which is 3 to be specific. Actually 4, because if you take out Hoopa. So a lot of supporters are really down right now. So they could actually go for the double defender setup, they could go for the Trevenant, and if they do want a supporter type, they could actually go for an Ho-Oh. But I think that's not going to be the case. They would be less prioritizing their supporters and defenders, at least for this game.
Yeah, and now Gyarados as well, along with the Dodrio, a little bit of that balance comp for Paper Rex. And so far, Talon has adjusted, considering that Umbreon is no longer that option. They're hovering around Clefable alongside with the Mamoswine, which I think really is still very, very strong, but could still differ.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the execution, right? So definitely that has to play a huge role heading towards this game. And I love actually this concept. Sync 1 has a full heal to deny some crowd controls later on in this game in order to reposition as quick as they can. But solo here on Sylveon, on the other hand, I feel like this could be a hyper voice actually, unless they try to go for the Mystical Fire and the Draining Kiss, knowing that it was actually buffed into the recent patch. So definitely they might make use of it, or at the same time, you know, it's just a matter of fact that Talon here has a formidable lineup as well. They have the Slow Beam, actually could just lock in that Gyarados or Sylveon later on. Actually, I feel like it would be a lock-in all the way from the Dodrio, knowing that Dodrio is actually so quick to get all the way into the front line.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, like, in terms of composition for Paper Rex, it's a little bit balanced, right? Because Gyarados is a slow scaling Pokemon that really just needs a couple of levels and needs a little bit of time to be able to reach that final evolution of Gyarados. And I think Dodrio, along with Sylveon and Umbreon, really brings out a little bit of that balance for Paper Rex to be able to reach that point and to really have that Gyarados to be in a good state down the road in the middle of the game, to set up those plays, to be able to go in for those bounces, to be able to go in for those Dragon Currents, to set up the team, right? So I think that is one of the expectations here for PRX that Talon has to be worried about moving into Game 1.
Yeah, and they really need to get the early advantage here, actually. Knowing that there's an Urshifu later on the side of Talon. Urshifu is very unstoppable the moment that it scales ahead of you. So definitely, you would want that Urshifu to be behind as much as possible for you to get a lot of advantage here.
For sure. So we'll see what Talon can do at this stage of the game, if they could take a win once more, considering how much they have really brought out with huge surprises earlier today up against one of the strongest teams in Asia Champions League in consideration. But for Paper X, it's all about like playing fast and just putting Gyarados in a very safe spot. And I think what Paper Rex can do is to really just put in pressure onto the opposite side of the map, onto the strong side, wherein just let Magikarp gain those experience, gain those levels, gain those XPs, even if, you know, that lane specifically is in a bit of a disadvantage.
Oh yeah. And by the way, we do have another QR code here, so make sure to pass in your entries for the giveaway. And right now, it's going to be a solid take here from the Swablues and the Altaria from the bottom path, but quite the opposite here, all the way to the top side. Yang is being pressured a lot here. What can he do, actually, at the 4 members of Talon?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult as well. I think this is what we're mentioning. It's really just playing like Paper Rex. If you consider it, the weak side of the map here for Paper Rex is the top side of the map. But now with Magikarp going into Gyarados, just will even out the playing field just a little bit better for PRX's side. And now you can shift towards your positioning for PRX. Bring in the Umbreon top side, bring in the Sylveon top side. Dodrio might be able to really put in that pressure as well to deny a lot of these things and a lot of points and XPs away from Sync 1.
They really have to drag it away even further. So right now it's actually looking good for Paper Rex. They only have the Gyarados already, very available. That Hyper Voice, it's gonna connect still. Triple KO from the Dodrio. It's looking good for Paper Rex here. They were able to dominate the early game, in which that is what they really want to prevent everyone from advancing even further, and Sync 1 was left alone in the top path.
Yeah, and now PRX now on the lead already. It's all about playing to our advantage, and Paper Rex need not to hold back any longer, as they are currently have reached their power spike at this stage. And now you have Dodrio coming down on top side.
Oh, gonna be coming out all the way to the top side, but there we have it. It's gonna be Bochi as well, all the way to the other side of the map, trying to deal some damage here, trying to be the main front line of their team. High Jump can back away immediately with the tri-attack here. That Dodrio doing works of wonders here. That bounce is gonna connect still at the hands of Rubex, and he was taken down here in the picture. Kai doing its best to do the follow me, but not gonna be quite enough pressure here, and Talon would lose its first core goal zone in this situation.
And now Paper Rex with just that team fight, with just that invade, or well rather that visit coming from 3 on top lane, they were able to secure a lot and a massive amount of advantage. This is what we're talking about, right? That Paper Rex, once Gyarados reaches that level 5, once he reaches that final evolution, Dodrio and the likes could now start rotating.
Oh, good not start rotating, and look at that, Solo once again trying to do a lot of Hyper Voice all the way to the back line, but decided to go for the goal instead. That Electro Drift not gonna be quite enough to take down the Umbreon, and he was punished back by Solo, sent back to the base. It's gonna be the Miraidon.
Yeah, it's Paper Rex who's just able to find search values again, and now they're having a hard time here. Talon Esports trying to return back to safety, however that's not going to be happening, as Serena will be brought back into Pokemon Center, and Paper Rex still sitting really pretty at this stage.
And right now this is going to be a tough challenge here for Talon, knowing that they are losing a lot here in terms of XP, in terms of scoring. So definitely they have to be very careful here. Look at that. Kai overextended a little bit, and Yimo was not able to pop off the bounce as quick as they can. But look at this surprise attack going to be happening anytime soon. But they managed to immobilize that Gyarados with the slow beam, and they are taking a lot of XP here. But the ambush would be available as well, coming in from HD. High jump kick all the way to Rubex. But those meteorites will be falling at the hands of the Miraidon. No one is just targeting it, and they're going to be enjoying it for themselves, but 2-man was knocked out immediately for Talon here. They have to back away a little bit here, and that Clefable will be sacrificing, sent back to the base for them to keep it alive for the Serena.
And now it's Talon who's trying to retreat back to safety, but Paper Rex is not holding their punches. They're going for the all-ins here. They want those advantages for the member advantage that they currently were able to secure here. Now, objectives are going to be open, and expectedly Paper Rex wants that Reggie bottom to be able to get those extra buffs, and Yemus's goal is to just buy time.
Yeah, for sure. They just have to buy time right now, and that was a smooth as silk cleanup. And they have an additional SP attack. They can actually take the Regieleki if they really do want to. They do have a Dragon's Current very available if they want to force things down, but it's not going to be a story here. They're going to go for the golds instead, all the way to the bottom path. Electro Drift to apply some pressure, but he is just being suppressed here a lot, and Rubex is still at level 9. They need those XPs. They need to force some team fights here in order to get a lot of XP, but those hits won't be landing in the hands of Sync 1.
Yeah, and now Paper Rex with just that capability of just going in for points, was able to get a lot of situations handled here. Already for Paper Rex. Now going for the response. However, that's not going to be enough with a 4v1 situation. PRX will be losing 2 of their members, sent back to the base with those KOs, and another tier 1 goal zone being taken away by Talon.
And nice flip, but not going to be quite enough to catch up yet. But the Queen's Ascendant would land here up against Yang as he was taken out. And Rubix tries to back away a little bit here. It's just Sinks one all the way inside. But he's going to get taken down as well by the hands of Paper Rex. And they have to back away here a little bit. Guy, once again, wants to sacrifice himself in order for Rubix to be alive in this situation.
Yeah, and now the distance, the gap is going closer and closer as Talon Esports currently just finding a couple of hints and couple of advantages that they could capitalize on. And so far, Paper Rex still on the lead, however. And I think that is just really unfortunate for Talon as they still have to look for plays. They still have to look for those opportunities, those loopholes to be able to come through and to close the distance. That is 83-point advantage for the likes of Paper Rex.
Yeah, right now Talon is still looking for a footing here. They're slowly catching up in terms of XP, so definitely they need a little bit of team fight here before the final stretch, you know, or not a team fight, actually. Just a pick-off would do, but I feel like that Umbreon was somewhat missing in action here. I think he was called upon his teammates like, hey, come on, go here at the middle lane.
And now you have the Regieleki being taken down, but Talon Esports, that's enough time, but 12 seconds remaining, and PRX just gotten the information that Talon Esports is coming in from Regieleki. They are in a good position already.
Oh, that Hyper Voice is gonna land here against Rubix. Rubix has to back away a lot here. He lost half of its HP, so definitely that's a huge, great execution from Paper Rex, making sure that the front line would be missing here at the end of Talon. But he has the amnesia to regain a lot of HP, so definitely that's a great execution. But Paper Rex is trying to force things down here into Rayquaza.
Yeah, and now you have the final stretch already. Paper Rex going in for those defense. They already just have to buy time.
Oh, buy time, but not gonna be quite enough here. Sync one trying to advance even further, all the way to the front line. But look at this. The Doge Trio is all the way on its back, ready to go for the triple trample anytime soon. But Yemo is gonna be diving all the way with the bounce. Queen's Ascendant, rather, is gonna land against the Umbreon. There's no front line immediately by the Paper Rex, but the Dragon's Current, it will land here at the side of Talon. And they keep on chasing for the knockout. Sync one taken out in the action, as well as Dylan after the bounce. And a team knockout for Paper Rex. They can take the Rayquaza once and for all.
Amazing play coming in from PRX. They went in with a full team KO, and with that, they came through, go in with a Rayquaza. With that objective, they have secured their destiny and taking that game number 1 in their favor. And that is what we're talking about. This Mitaka playstyle, just finding on those opportunities, and PRX need not to be able to go for the Rayquaza and put down pressure. It is down on a point deficit at that time, and with that, the confidence of Paper Rex of just holding their position, having the first position advantage into the Rayquaza pit, just made them win that fight.
Absolutely phenomenal for Paper Rex. Perfect execution as they take this game number 1, and that's gonna be huge. I would like to commend especially their Gyarados Yimu being able to bounce on perfect positions to take some knockouts, to make everyone bounce, and it's just phenomenal execution.
Yeah, for sure. And some of our predictions have been met. Right, with Gyarados reaching that final evolution, now's the time for his teammates to go in for those rotation. It definitely did, and it's just a lot of these opportunities, a lot of these macro plays that Paper Rex was just putting up against Talon Esports that made it so difficult for them to pierce.
As far as I know, this is a Jinxie log, as far as I know. So cheering for PH teams, of course, and definitely we could see actually a crowd here cheering for Fennel as well. Very interesting, and still a lot of fans here. You know, Paper Rex, Talon, a lot of their fans really showing their support, and it's gonna be the default ban here. They're not gonna be switching sides, so Talon, let's see what would be their main adjustment.
Yeah, we'll see, because right now Talon still going in for the Urshifu pick. I think this will Mike for. But yeah, this is just very annoying. If you were in a position of it's because you do want to be on, right? But you can't let Urshifu through, and you can only pick one or the other, because if not, it's really just going to be Paper Rex who's going to pick these Pokemon up for themselves. So yeah, it's Paper Rex going for a similar draft here, and Talon going in for a similar pattern as well with Miraidon and Serena.
Yeah, and this would most likely be the same composition that we might be seeing. So far, it's very default. They got the Slowbro actually once again. Let's see what will be the resolution a while ago, because I'm actually a little bit concerned on how they can actually back away from team fights. And it's actually, yes, the same lineup from both teams. It's a total rematch. Both of them came from both sides, so it's all about execution now, Infinity.
Yeah, it definitely is, right? Same exact draft for game 1 and game number 2. And I think it doesn't really affect as much. If you're gonna think about it, the draft of Talon and the draft of Paper Rex is really solid. They have their respective pros and cons. You have Talon as a bit more towards the balanced type of composition in similar fashion to Paper Rex as well, but more towards like leaning that damage side for PRX, and Talon more towards the defensive side. So it's all about that execution, how they're rotating around the map, how they're being supportive of their teammates, being responsive of what's happening around top side of the map or the bottom side of the map, and these objectives are going to be impactful and the key to success here for either side.
Yeah, they really do need that, key to success. But I'm really quite concerned here, actually, once again, from the Slowbro here. Let's see what would be the execution change here for Talon, because a while ago, yes, we have been seeing Slow Beams, we have been seeing Queen's Ascendant being able to suppress a member from Paper Rex. We're in, due to the fact of that, we have to consider as well the other members from Paper Rex. We're in, it's not just one, it's not just two that we have to suppress, but multiple members at the same time as much as possible in order for the team fights to be much more very efficient. And that is what Paper Rex has as of now. They do have the Gyarados with the Dragon's Current that could set up a lot of crowd control. Same thing with, actually the Umbreon could isolate one, but Dodrio with the Triple Trample could actually do the same thing, just like the Bounce and the Dragon's Current.
So we'll see what PRX would do here. But the expectations is Talon is going to be more proactive in terms of their macro plays, because I think that was how Paper Rex built their advantage from the ground up. But in game number 1, it was Dodrio who constantly pays a visit on top side of the map and really just make sure that Gyarados was on a safe nest to be able to get XPs, to be able to gain points, and to be able to level up.
And you really have to level up as soon as they can, because this is not looking good once again for Talon. They have, Paper Rex already has the access to the Sylveon with the Hyper Voice, so definitely you might be seeing those ambushes later on just like that, and every single members of Paper Rex is already evolving even further. But on the other side of the map, that's going to be Talon scoring the goals here.
Yeah, and now you have Mike being a target here, but Yang at this stage still not going to be enough. But that's it, Paper Rex going right through with a KO already.
Oh, that's a huge KO, and look at that HP coming in from the Umbreon. Almost got knocked out by the hands of Talon, but not going to be quite enough yet. And there we have it. Rubex managed to evolve already as a Slowbro, but they don't have the access yet to the telekinesis if they want to go for the fights over and over again. So definitely it needs a lot of time still. So all you have to do, or all he has to do actually, is to help his teammates eventually.
This is what we're saying. Talon has to be more proactive, and so far so good. Still, there is a bit of difference, but that is very minute, and that is very to consider as well. So Talon at this stage, 7 minutes into the game, they have to be proactive, they have to look for those plays, they have to be responsive of what Paper Rex does.
Tries to get the Citrus Berry for some HP recovery here. Not going to be committing into the team fight. Actually, this is a very responsible rotation from Talon, knowing that Paper Rex really has a great advantage in winning this team fight. And look at this. 5-man setup from Talon. They're going to be surprising everyone at the hands of Paper Rex. But the Hyper Voice all the way into the back line managed to take down, sent back to the base. That's low, bro. And Kai is still leading the charge here for their team. Yang, on the other hand, is trying to go in for the follow-up. But who's going to be emerging here? Who's going to be the more aggressive ones? They take down the Queen here. Serena taken down for 3 seconds. And they just have to play it all out. Paper Rex doing works of wonders once again.
Now you have the red steel being contested by both sides here, and Paper Rex already lost 2. Talon at a numbers advantage.
Oh, it's gonna be 3 right now as they take down the Sylveon into the front line, and they're gonna be taking the Registeel here. Very favorable for them. They managed to defend the Regieleki all the way to the top path, and they got an additional buff here. But that bounce would connect once again. Electro Drift to back away here, but the Dragon's Current, it's gonna land up against the Urshifu, and Kai has no room to back away here. It's just Rubex left alone, and this is going to be the gold zone conversion, at least for Paper Rex.
Yeah, and now Paper Rex will be able to go in. The 16 points remaining. I think that's perfect, but they're still going in for that overcap that they wanted to go for. Extra 5 points for PRX. And now they have set foot once again at a massive advantage. And if you're going to look at it, Paper Rex really just goes in for those macro plays. Plays around their teammates, plays around the map, plays for the objectives. Just buying time. If you're going to look back and track back on what happened on that Registeel fight, it was a 4-1 split. You have Gyarados going in for top side of the map, just going in for the Regieleki. They were able to take that. And Paper Rex, yes, they lost a lot of members. They lost 3, but they bought enough time for Gyarados to take the objective and come down into the bottom path to go in for those responses. And I think that is what I love to what Paper Rex is doing. Those macro plays are phenomenal.
Ooh, very phenomenal right now. Kai, eyes on the prize here, being able to have an opportunity to take down Bochi. But there's just a lot of members from Paper Rex back and forth every single corner of the tall grass. It's just Paper Rex controlling the overall map appearance here, and Talon having a tough time to rotate all the way from back and forth at the other sides of the map.
Yeah, and now Paper Rex, they now know that they are in a massive lead, so we're all about that goalkeeper once again. What we keep on talking about, going in for the Regieleki on top side of the map, denying it away from Talon Esports would be really huge for them, just because that puts in a lot of pressure still for the tier 2 gold zone against Talon, and also at the same time it gives them that safety net of not having any pressure on that side as well, considering that they still have that tier 1 gold zone available on the top lane.
That advantage once and for all. Regieleki looking good still for Talon here, but they can actually sustain this team fight for that long. Yes, they do, but they're not going to be committing into the team fight. That's going to be the Electro Drift coming in, but the Quince Ascendant is also available here for Sync 1, but the Yang is going to be there to support his teammates. Dragon's Current going to be pop up as well, but that slow beam would suppress the Gyarados immediately, but the triple trample all the way from behind, that's going to make Talon suffer a little bit, but a lot of members are still up here for Talon. They are just taking down every single members of Paper Rex. Try attack all the way into the other side of the team fight, and the Gyarados is available once again here. Going to be growing in for the brute force with the Moxie, but Kai still going in for the follow me in order to buy a lot of time. KO streak number 3 here for the Urshifu, but yet they cannot score a goal here. Talon having a tough time.
Yeah, now Paper Rex just going in for the defense on top side of the map. This is what we're talking about. They want to go in for the goalkeeper onto the tier 1 goal zone. 3 points left here, but Paper Rex still holding on, but not going to be for long as Talon take down the tier 1 goals on top lane.
And that's what they want. They just want to convert a goal zone here and, you know, just have a little bit amount of XP. And after that, they're going to be playing very responsibly here. Oh! Goodness, and HT was taken down by the Electro Drift by Dylan, but on the other side, is he gonna make it out? Yes, he does. Phenomenal execution.
Yeah. Paper Rex now setting up the plays and setting up the positions down in Reggie eyes. Considering that they are nearing towards the 2-minute mark, you have Talon Esports who has information already with Slowbro going for the face shot.
Gonna be checking the tall grasses here. They already have the information that their team needs, but they're gonna be a little bit late here to contest the objective as Paper Rex has a lot of HP on their pocket here. But 3 seconds on the clock, that's gonna be the Regieleki all the way to the top path. But might I tell you, 27 seconds as well that Rayquaza would be available, and Rubex is suffering a lot of HP. Electro Drip all the way inside to take out Yang. Yes, they do, and they would keep this momentum once and for all. Talon looking to change things up.
Yeah, definitely looking to change things up. You have Paper Rex now going into their respective jungle side, or well, forest side. But for now, Talon Esports in a good position. They have to force away the Rayquaza, but Paper Rex now knows. You have the Umbreon going for the face check as well. Knows and has information. But Paper Rex just setting into place. They have the Dragon Current readily available as well.
Oh, very ready right now indeed, but Rubex is losing a lot of HP here. Unite Move's gonna be popping all the way from the Eldegoss, but that Hurricane's Runner Rayquaza will be assisting a lot of members from Paper Rex. But look at this, who's pressed right now? That's gonna be the Gyarados taken down into the situation here. Bochi trying to deal a lot of damage here, but gets caught immediately by the Queen's Ascendant, but the triple trample all the way to the back line would suppress multiple members from Talon as well. 3 members down for Paper Rex. Sigwan trying to chase for another, as that is going to be the Dodrio left alone. HD has to check this one very carefully. Needs to go for a steal attempt from the Rayquaza because Talon is focusing their attention here.
Gyarados is now here, but the Dragon Current having to go down and chase down Dylan. The Dragon Drift will be able to really just put him away with the Electro Drift, going to retreat there, but Paper Rex now with those resets coming in, now being respawned back to full HP. They're on a good position once again.
Oh, this is going to be very tough. Saquon, he's going to get taken down by the Bells with the last hit of the Hyper Voice. But look at what's trade here, what's at stake. They take down the Umbreon, but it's just multiple members from Talon collapsing one by one. Rubex has to go all the way to the front line, but everyone is just diving deeper at the position of Talon. Hyper Voice all the way to the back line. Once again, Yipu will bounce back even further as they take down the Urshifu, and it is just going to be Kyle left alone, and Paper Rex once again takes the Rayquaza.
And now with a fantastic finish there, Paper Rex now on the lead with the Rayquaza buff as well. This will secure them the wondrous win that they were able to really put up against Talon Esports as well. Macro game phenomenal. Their playstyle overall really just fit in and managed very well in that match. It's all about playing towards your teammates and playing towards the map. It's that simple on what PRX did.
Yeah, and I do feel like they're having a great communication behind the scenes, because if you're going to be taking a look at the deeper picture on what really happened towards every single team fight that they do, there's always a response, there's always a backup strategy that Paper Rex really does have, in which Talon cannot do a complete team knockout. It's just, there's always someone left at hands of Paper Rex, and they cannot see an opportunity for them to, you know, have an idle time. Every time counts for Paper Rex at this game.
Yeah, and now that said, like, it will be Paper Rex who's able to really put out a very good showing in today's series up against Talon Esports. I believe that will put them now at the #1 spot. Let's say #1, #2 spot for the leaderboards thus far. They may have lost a while ago, but they have won now.
Oh yeah, and that's actually the recovery